The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a wonderful Thursday edition of Talking Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas in the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody, with Patrick Nosey Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Today, we preview the Dallas Cowboys offense going up against the reigning Defensive Player of the Year and Dallas-Fort Worth product, Myles Garrett.
Who's that?
He's pretty good.
He's a dude.
Oh, he's just Bane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever seen The Dark Knight Rises?
You're darn right.
He's just Bane. He merely adopted the Browns. You know what I mean? Like he's a hard assassin.
You're ready with the
Give it
DC,
to the people.
reference.
Yeah, of course.
You're ready with the DC reference.
I gotta balance out the
I respect
Marvel
it.
garbage.
I respect it.
It's the wrong team in the same division, you know, because he was. I mean, Gotham had like Hines Ward, and like then the field got blown up by Bane, and
But it makes sense because he's a rival of Pittsburgh, right? So he blows up Heinz Field.
that's fair.
You know?
Okay.
Josh
So
has been
Bane
thinking
is
about
a Browns
this for a while.
fan.
He's been thinking about this for a while.
I think it came off the top.
You think that was a
top rope?
freestyle?
Straight off the top rope.
No. I see you. No. It's too good. It's too good.
Everything I do is calculated.
That's
much,
right.
much like Bane.
Every single.
But Bane had to
thing.
be saved in that movie.
That's true.
You're right.
So who's the Catwoman of it all? No, I'm just kidding. It's too much. Too
I
much.
don't know the main villain's name. What was her name?
In that movie,
Yeah.
Talia al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul's daughter?
Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Razagul?
Yeah, that's his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Legal,
It's actually
Legal
pronounced
Shadows.
Ra's al Ghul, but we don't have to get into that.
Well, this
Yeah,
is nice because
this is
things
good.
like Legal Shadows, and then Michael wants to be the
Yes.
assassin. And
Yeah,
this is going. This is going.
I just imagine somebody in their car right now listening to this, and they're like, "What are the? Who is that? Do they play safety? Do they play? Like, I've never heard that name before.
Selena Kyle, what's
is it
her
a
40?
Wookiee? Like,
What's Selena Kyle's 40?
what did they do with the combine? Like, no, let's get into some news and notes. There's plenty to get to, and I want to talk a little bit about Rooted in a little bit.
Yeah.
Not right now, but we'll get there in a
We'll
second.
get to Rooted. Let's jump right into the first official injury report of the 2024 season. If we weren't back, we are now, baby. All right, so the Cowboys, for anyone that's not on IR, they are mostly healthy. The only absence yesterday on Wednesday's practice was John Stevens Jr. He's dealing with a hamstring. He was D&P, did not participate. But we had several others that showed up on the injury report. Good news is that they were all full participants, though, so obviously no concern there. So Damone Clark with the knee issue, he's back full capacity. Marshawn Nealon showed up with a knee issue, full capacity. Israel Mukuamu, that groin issue, he's still working through it, but participated fully. Mozzie Smith popped up with an Achilles issue, but full participant. So let's not hit the panic button there. I see your face, Isaiah. And Wanye Thomas, as he's been dealing with the groin injury over the past 2 or 3 weeks, but he was also a full participant. So great news for the Cowboys is that no one missed any practice reps with the exception of John Stevens Jr., who did not practice with that hamstring issue. So that looks good. And as far as the Browns injury report, they had several limiteds, no DMPs, though. Jerry Jeudy was full. JOK was full. Basically, their heavy hitters are ready to go as well. So both teams mostly healthy going into it. Now, segueing to you want to talk about it now?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay. So yesterday, Mike McCarthy, he debuted the 2024 theme for the Cowboys. It is quote unquote rooted. The way McCarthy described it is, first and foremost, it is inspired by some teachings that he received from his father, advice from his father, a blue collar guy out of Pennsylvania, obviously. And early in his coaching career, basically told him to live his life in 5-year increments. Right? 5-year increments. Now, that also ties to a Chinese bamboo tree as well.
How do you say the name?
Zucha.
Okay.
Don't ask me how to spell it.
How do you spell it? Yeah.
I don't know how to spell it.
Okay.
But I'm interested. I want to learn how to write it in Chinese, though. That'd be nice.
That would be cool.
But it's called a zucha tree or just zucha. But basically, and I looked it up. It's real. It's a Chinese bamboo tree that you have to water every day for 4 consecutive years, and it will not produce any type of growth or any type of fruit for 4 consecutive years. So obviously it's easy to give up in that 4-year period. However, if you are religious in watering it and those seeds for 4 consecutive years, on year 5, without fail, it will not only sprout, but it sprouts to the extent of 90 feet in only a month. So it explosive growth in year 5. Now, tie that all back to what year is this for McCarthy with the Cowboys?
Number 5.
All right. And what did he do in year 5 with the Green Bay Packers?
Oh, just won a Super Bowl.
So, yeah, McCarthy put a lot of thought into this. So, rooted it is, fellas. Rooted.
You ever seen a bamboo tree, Isaiah?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have a couple in your backyard?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I love bamboo.
Dude, 90 feet in a month is crazy.
90 feet tree.
Period.
Yeah, period. But the fact that it grows that rapidly in a 30-day period after doing nothing for 4 years.
Oh, it's doing something. You know what it's doing?
What's
It's getting rooted.
It's manifesting.
Talking Cowboys and talking botany.
I like it.
I'm a landscaper.
I like it.
Part of the shirts that they had hanging up in the locker room, and then I saw one in the training table a moment ago, but on the back it's got 2 feet with the Cowboys logo, and it says "Stay in the present."
Yep.
And then on the side it says 1% every day. We get 1% better every day. So, I mean, we've seen some interesting and thought-provoking mottos over the year. I know last year, of course, was Carpe Omnia. We've had victory. We've had win. We've had
Finish the fun.
finish the fight. Yeah, that was a Garrett one previously. This one's interesting. I think from like a T-shirt standpoint,
It's not the most marketable,
not at all. It's
but
not.
I love how it lands psychologically and philosophically.
In talking to some of the players in the locker room yesterday, they liked it.
They like it
This is
a lot.
where all the
They
Mortal,
like it a lot.
This is where the Mortal Kombat fight scenes come from.
Yeah,
Is the bamboo tree? Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like the idea behind Rooted,
It's awesome.
but he's no graphic designer, you know.
He's no graphic design. You think Mike cares about how, the
No,
struggle
no.
of marketing that thing?
Absolutely
He doesn't
not.
care at all.
You think you would get a call from the HOA if you planted one of these?
Absolutely.
And 90 feet bamboo trees? Yeah, sir.
Could you
Little
imagine?
bit.
You're perfectly fine.
A little
Got my
bit.
little backyard in the back, like, and
Yes.
then you see it just sticking
Little
out
bit.
from behind, like
Just every day for
gosh.
5 years, you're just like going out in
It
front.
says it grows upwards of 3 feet per day and an inch every 40 minutes in year 5.
That would
is
be trippy.
Crazy. That means you can sit there, you can just
could
pop down a
literally
lawn
watch it
chair
grow.
and just watch it go in year 5. That's
love that.
Listen,
I love
give,
bamboo.
give me that. For the Dallas
I'm like
Cowboys.
infatuated with bamboo. Only reason why I don't have bamboo in my yard is because it's the most intrusive plant ever.
Yeah. It will
And
take over everything.
It will take over everything, and it will uproot your foundation.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Okay.
like that idea.
Yeah, it will. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And I even looked into it years ago. I used to go. I'm not a sponsor, but I used to go to a supply store for the farmers, and they had those big old like silver planters.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I was like, okay, I'm gonna get one of these and I'm gonna plant some bamboo. Nope. Did my research. They will bust through the steel and get into the ground.
Oh, I mean, the strength of a bamboo.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's nothing's getting in its way.
They
So
use
if
that for building.
If anybody has any tips on how to grow bamboo without it being intrusive, please let me know because I'm literally infatuated with bamboo.
you just got
that
a
might
little
be-
desk version.
We've asked
I used to have it in my apartment all the time. I used to have that little version.
the little one. Yeah. We've asked a lot of things of Talking Cowboys Nation over the year. That might be the most interesting one that I've
Please
ever
do.
heard. If you have any tips on growing bamboo in your yard
That
without
won't
it being
uproot
intrusive,
my foundation.
then let me know. Let a brother know. Come on, bring.
I'm gonna go plant some Chinese bamboo at somebody's house.
I swear, if I wake up one day and I
yes.
walk into my front yard and there's
Yes.
a bamboo tree
Your
growing,
kids are gonna be 5 years old.
yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, see, now I'm afraid to
upset.
visit Isaiah because I feel like in his yard are going to be booby traps with bamboo shoots. Right, because he just said he's infatuated with bamboo, so I think there's some booby traps in his
How
yard.
to accelerate
Bamboo
growth.
traps, if you will.
Bamboo traps.
booby traps. I like it.
This guy ate his oats this morning is what
Yes,
he did.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's get into this Cowboys offensive matchup against the defensive matchup of the Cleveland Browns. Of course, we do this does every Thursday. It's Cowboys defense on Wednesday, Cowboys offense on Thursday. The number one thing I'm looking for is this offensive line with 2 rookies up front, because off of that unofficial depth chart that we mentioned yesterday, Cooper Beebe is the starting center off of the unofficial depth chart. Mike McCarthy was asked about it yesterday. He said, yes, it's Tad that puts it together, the director of PR here and the PR staff that works so great upstairs. Then you've got Mike McCarthy that approves it.
He approved it.
So it has some weight to it, and Cooper Beebe is at center. Tyler Guyton is at left tackle. Are we shocked by this at this point in time? Absolutely not. But there will be growing pains, especially when you go up against the Defensive Player of the Year in Myles Garrett. Josh, when you look at that matchup, who do you feel like is going to be under the most pressure to succeed in their NFL debut?
In their NFL debut, I feel definitely Tyler Guyton. It is all the lights are on him, unless they decide to move Myles Garrett around, which I don't think they're accustomed to. This is something where Tyler Guyton is going to be early and often attacked by Myles Garrett, as he should be. If I'm on the Browns, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm testing that rookie. But Max Crosby did that as well in the preseason, and we saw how that turned out. He switched sides. So, granted, it's preseason. You're not taking like those real reps, really. But I'm a little concerned about Tyler Guyton. However, I don't think his performance in game 1 should be indicative of the rest of his career. If it's good or bad, just take it with a grain of salt, because that is his first NFL snaps.
What do you think, Pat?
It's Tyler Guyton. And for a couple reasons. One, Cooper Beebe is a 3rd-round pick, and obviously there's going to be pressure on a 3rd-round pick to produce. But Cooper Beebe entered training camp as the backup to Brock Hoffman. So credit to Cooper Beebe for winning out ultimately. But I think from the word go, Tyler Guyton had the pressure on him to come in as the 1st-round pick and be ready to start for week 1. And to his credit, he absolutely is. He looks incredible, and he didn't take any time off during the off season before training camp. He was working with our good friend Duke Manyweather over at OL Masterminds across the street. So credit to him. But that being said, again, 1st-round pick, you're stepping into the role vacated by future Hall of Famer in Tyron Smith, and you're going up against the reigning defensive player of the year, and you're playing left tackle, which means more often than not, you're kind of on that island. Whereas Cooper Beebe, look to his left, all pro. Look to his right, all pro.
That makes me feel better.
Right. So Cooper Beebe is sandwiched by 2
Ice cream sandwich.
Yeah. He's sandwiched by 2 all pros. So left tackle, a little bit more of an island. 1st-round pick. Not filling in, but taking the rollover from Tyron Smith, going up against NFL Defensive Player of the Year. All the pressure, not all, but the majority of the pressure is on Tyler Guyton.
How much will it change? Like you said, Josh, and I agree with you, you cannot build or tear down this rookie's early parts of his career in his rookie season.
Literally his first snaps.
In his first snaps as an NFL pro. But how much hype would there be if he stonewalls Myles Garrett for the majority of the game? I don't think it'll happen for the entire game, but I think it's possible Tyler Guyton wins a lot of these battles along the way.
Power rankings across the board.
I mean, it would explode his popularity, right?
Zucha.
It would be
Zucha.
Wow.
In year 1.
In 5 snaps.
It would be Zucha. 5 snaps.
He grew 90
Zucha.
feet.
Yeah.
How early do you anticipate Myles Garrett getting into the backfield?
I was watching a lot of film yesterday. I don't know. I didn't see enough of Tyler Guyton versus ones in the preseason, and I went back and watched it
against Parsons in practice, Crosby in the game.
Crosby really wasn't though.
It was like a
really
70% Crosby, yeah.
And like Crosby in terms of passing, he only went against Crosby one time really in pass on a passing down, and it was a false start. Or offsides on defense, so he didn't really get a chance to. And they ran a stunt, so Crosby went away from him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to believe that he's going to have a really good game just because I like how aggressive he is. There are some things that are concerning that I've seen in terms of his technique that Myles Garrett might exploit, but we won't know until we see it. So I think as long as he has good feet, as long as he stays low and keeps his hands inside, then he's going to be okay. There was a pass set in the Raiders game where he was going, I can't remember the defensive end's name, number 51, Mookie, something like that for the Raiders. Anyways, Tyler got his hands outside, it was really, I think it was a learning situation for him. He got his hands outside, and the DN got his hands in there, and he extended them, locked them out, and then snatched them.
Yeah.
And just totally just vet moved him, like little boyed him, right? And it's like Tyler Guyton's bigger than him, but I'm hoping that he saw that on film. Was like, okay, I can't do that.
All right, don't expose your chest plate.
One of the things that Myles Garrett does a really good job of is getting underneath offensive linemen and then just using his freaking massive legs to just drive through their chest cavity and get to the quarterback. A lot of his stuff is really not amazing when you look at it on film. He makes some amazing plays, don't get me wrong. But when his base, like his basic rush to the quarterback is the most unappealing thing in the world.
Yeah.
But it's so effective because of his leverage.
I'm glad you said that because it's not the same as what you see from guys like TJ Watt and Micah Parsons. And he's still a technician because he does not waste movement, but it's not flashy.
Right.
It's more pure strength, pure length, and athleticism around the outside. I think when it comes to Myles Garrett, he's probably the most effective but least flashy edge rusher in all of football.
I could agree with that.
Because he does not waste movement. If he's going to punch you in a certain way, or if he's going to commit to a move, he's going to win.
Yeah, most of his sacks, he had 14, right? Most of his sacks literally come from him getting in a super wide. Yeah. Oh, you can't even call it a 9. It's
like a wide 11.
Like a 13.
11.
It's
11
literally
take 12.
And
he's getting Gatorade before this.
hey, hand me that real quick. And on this week's special edition, you guys will see that. We'll do a film breakdown. But he gets so wide. You know, you're taught as an offensive tackle, keep your shoulders remotely square to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Right? But he gets so wide that if you're outside of me, where I literally could barely even see you, I naturally have to do what? I have to now turn my head, and by turning my head, I'm now turning my chest. And if you're rushing that way, now I'm turning my whole body towards the sideline. Well, if I turn my entire torso towards the sideline, now this dude can go underneath or he can go over the top. And if you're turned to the sideline and he's pressing into you, now you're literally backpedaling all the way to the quarterback. So he literally dips, puts his shoulder into you, and just drives into you like it's a sled. And next thing you know, he's at the quarterback.
You know, and I love that you brought that up because to me, that actually works in the favor of Tyler Guyton. Yeah. If they were lining up straight up and it was bull rushing and it was just hands versus hands, Myles is going to win those. And I'll go ahead and say Myles is going to win some of these reps because he's Myles. He's Myles freaking Garrett. Yeah. But I also will say don't be surprised at how many reps Tyler Guyton wins because of his footwork. Yep. He has some things to learn with his hand technique and hand placement, but his footwork is elite. And it transfers over from his days playing basketball. And I talked to him about this in the locker room yesterday, kind of an off-the-cuff conversation. I said, how are you using your basketball background to help you wall off guys like Micah Parsons in practice? Because there's a couple of times that Micah won off the snap, but then on that second move,
can't get there
because Guyton's feet were there. Right. And I say that to say, well, his answer was, he's used to blocking guys out, right? Because he was a post player. So it's all about footwork in the post. Mm-hmm. And that's what can work in his favor against a guy like Myles Garrett who likes to line up wide of the line of scrimmage, because then now on that island, it's less about the bull rush and it's more about like what you're saying. Mm-hmm. How quickly can you get turned and get your feet and then recover and get your feet? Well, his feet are fantastic.
Yes.
And if that's the case, then advantage slightly in that capacity to Tyler Guyton.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I like that you brought up hand placement because I think, Isaiah, we talked about this during the preseason where it's like he's going to get called on that a lot early and often in the season, and he's going to have to unlearn how to use his hands.
You're referring to getting his hands from the outside to the inside.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Is there going to be a telltale sign? So you were talking about staying square to the line of scrimmage. On for just anybody at home, when you're watching the TV copy and you're listening to Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady to talk about this game, if you're seeing Tyler Guyton and the blue stripes on the shoulders turn, that's a good indication that Myles Garrett's doing what he needs to do.
Yes, and he's going to do that. He's going to put a lot of stress on Tyler Guyton. That's the one way you can get that tackle out in space, because he gets so wide when he does decide to, when he is rushing, Tyler Guyton will have no help. He will have
the island.
It's literally Guyton Island. Like he's going to be by himself. And the thing that sucks about it is, okay, when Garrett decides to engage, he's literally engaging on one half of your body, right? He's engaging all his weight on one half of your body. So imagine center mass all the way to your left shoulder. That's where a lot of the pressure is going to be, and Myles Garrett's just driving into it. Now all of a sudden you get used to it, and you're like, okay, screw that. I'm not letting you get around me. Mm-hmm. Now he can spin back which he likes to do, he'll spin back inside, and who's there?
Nobody.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
where this footwork
You have to
will come
respect
into
it.
Got to be perfect.
I like Guyton in the run game a lot against Myles Garrett. I think him being aggressive, Tyler Guyton, that is, he's aggressive, he's gritty, he's able to get down, he's powerful,
got strength,
he has a lot of strength. I like him in that sense. In the passing game, I'm interested and I'm curious to see exactly how it goes down because Garrett has the size to overpower Guyton, right? Guyton can do just as well. But that leverage, man, leverage piece is a real thing.
You don't go up against 6'4", 272.
Yeah,
I just feel like
it
that
doesn't happen.
If a reference, Micah's 240,
yeah, 245,
maybe
he
40.
leaned out a little bit, so yeah,
He's like 240.
Yeah.
So you've been going up against somebody who's fast, quick, twitchy,
and huge.
And now you're about to go against somebody who's almost 40, probably 40 pounds at the beginning of the season. You're going to be heavier. Myles Garrett's probably coming in at 280.
He's such a freak.
The wider he lines out, the better it is for Tyler Guyton because of the footwork. The closer,
think so?
Yeah, I think it works in the opposite direction.
You don't think so?
I don't.
I think the closer that Myles is to like a true 5, that makes it slightly more difficult because then it's more of your hands need to be more perfect.
I think that Guyton has an advantage the closer he is to the line of scrimmage. I mean, to the tackle box. And the reason why I say that is because Guyton, his advantage, the foundation is his strength, right? It's just like Tyler Smith, right? When he first came in. Like,
same thing, yeah.
Stay in the box. Like, I got you. If you stay in here, I'm going to lock you up, right? And that's Guyton's thing. Yeah. Out in space, it changes it. I'm not going to say that Garrett's going to beat him with speed, but again, if I get you turning and now I can get underneath you, now you have no help, now I could push, right? And then other people have to win their matchups, right?
So, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense. We're just looking at it in two different
For
capacities.
sure, for sure.
I'm leaning more on the footwork in space, the wider that Myles goes out, and I see he's leaning more so on the strength as you're closer to the tackle box. So I don't think there's a wrong. We're just looking at it two different ways.
It is going to be interesting to see how Myles Garrett attacks it because he will go wide, but he will work his way inside too. And by the way, I looked at it on his snap counts from last year. Josh, you mentioned it. He does not switch sides a whole lot. He's coming off the right side, 580 snaps last year compared to the left side with 111. So very much so. I mean, almost 6 out of every 7 snaps is on that right side, and that's going to be against Tyler Guyton.
Yep. But also, I mean, I don't want to just make this a Tyler Guyton deal. The rest of this defensive line is freaking solid too, right? Yeah. And Terrence Steele has to win his matchups. Interior, Cooper Beebe is going to be tested.
Yeah, because Zadarius Smith is a thing.
Yes, he is.
He's given us a lot of issues in the past, especially on the Packers.
Zadarius Smith is a thing. Now, good news being that, McCarthy, for the most part, he has some insight on Zadarius Smith.
He knows him.
He knows him a little bit, his tendencies and, things that he loves to do and his uncomfortable spots, how to make him uncomfortable. So
I want to talk a little bit more about that. The linebackers, the secondary, a little bit more when we come back on the other side of the break because we're just getting started in this Cowboys offense versus the Browns defense. And, like you said, if we weren't back already, we're definitely back. We've got QB Vision coming up in the next segment. We've got it rocking with Isaiah Stanback. Now, National Emmy Award-winning analyst. How about that?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh. Oh, geez. Right after this on Talkin Cowboys.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts nearby, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, trusted oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys since 1877. We've got our Quaker Oats ready to roll. Black Rifle Coffee, our main sponsor. We've got it all working for breakfast this morning. Get up, start your day with a little bit of Talking Cowboys, a little bit of preview between the Cowboys offense and the Browns defense. And how about starting your day with a little bit of Quaker codes?
Quaker codes.
Right?
It's over there.
It's over there somewhere. Right next to Isaiah Stanback, who's about to give us some...
Wide 80. Wide 80. It's time for QB Vision with Isaiah Stanback.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to... Oh, is this a cooking show?
Hey, we're right to
Today, we're going to be whipping up our best Quaker Oats with
Bobby
Isaiah
Flay.
Stanback.
No,
Bobby Flay.
let's talk about it. Dallas Cowboys offense versus Cleveland Browns defense. It's going to be one heck of a test. You know, a straight no chaser. You guys know I keep it real. People don't necessarily like that I put a lot of respect on other teams, but you better put some respect on other teams
Give them
because
the
they're
science,
professionals.
man. Give them the science.
The Dallas Cowboys is one of the
That's
top
a segment we got to bring back, too. I didn't even think about that.
absolutely.
We got to bring that back,
Yeah.
too. Sorry.
one of the top offenses in the league versus one of the top defenses in the league. And it's going to be one heck of a showdown. Now you have to ask yourself, where does each team have the advantage? Well, let's go ahead and go to the coordinators first. Okay, Mike McCarthy obviously took this offense up a notch last year. This offense led with the most touchdowns. This team led with the most yardage. But you look at defensively, these guys have a lot of beasts. They have beasts up front. Their defensive line is absolute dogs. So when you start talking about trying to get the Dallas Cowboys running game going so that you can stay in good down and distance situations, that's going to be a challenge. That is going to be a challenge. One of the things that they do a really good job of is stopping the run because they have the beef up front. They have the Zadarius Smith on the outside. They have Myles Garrett on the outside. They're able to really constrict those holes. And then they always have linebackers. Now, they did lose some of their main linebackers from last year, but they quickly replaced those guys. They picked up Devin White. They picked up, let me go to my depth chart real quick. They picked up Devin White. They picked up Jordan Hicks. Okay, and then they got, as you say, J.O.K., Jeremiah Owusu. Okay, so their linebackers are Dallas has some solid linebackers. These dudes have some linebackers too, and we know the better the D line is, the better the linebackers play. So Dallas is going to have to try to find a way to move this defensive line backwards in the running game. Passing wise, though, I believe, and I make a bold statement right now. I have been very. What's the best way to say this? I don't know. I've been pretty strict, right? I've been pretty persistent in my analysis of Dak Prescott and his ability to be able to decipher what he's seeing defensively.
Yes.
This will be arguably his greatest challenge.
Okay.
I'm going to go say this would be his greatest challenge.
Okay.
And
I don't think you're too far off of that because even if you look at what they did in terms of passing defense last year, where did they rank in the league?
Yeah, number one.
They were number one.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the top passing defense
But
in football.
A little different here because they're not necessarily disguising their coverages, are they?
Oh,
well, the Jim Schwartz. Now.
Jim Schwartz.
They have Jim Schwartz.
He does.
now.
Okay.
That's really the root
They
of
have
this.
Jim
So
Schwartz now.
they like man-to-man coverage. Okay, they were number one in the league in terms of man-to-man coverage. I think they played it 66% of the time. However, here's a pro and a con. Okay, so they play a lot of man. Okay, Dallas is the best against man.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott historically is the
that's
best
what I
against
was-
man. So you can win your matchups there as long as you can get time to get the ball off. So that's a good thing. They play man. Dak's really good against man. The issue that I have, the issue that I foresee, and I've always had with Dak, and specifically, is that he struggles versus teams that have a lot of. They show something, and then the pre-snap, right, and then in the post-snap is something completely different. That's bothered him in the regular season. It's bothered him in the postseason. It's one of the reasons why Dallas has struggled in the postseason is Dak struggles with that aspect of his game. Jim Schwartz is probably the best that we've seen in regards to that. He will be the best that we've seen. There are things that I was watching on film that I've never seen, and I've watched a lot of film. If you get into a third and long, ever. Jim Schwartz, first down, he's number one in the league. The Cleveland Browns are in playing man-to-man.
Yeah.
They want to play man-to-man. They want to let their defensive line go hunt. Okay, so they're going to try to negate your ability to be able to run the ball. Okay, so if you can't run the ball against them, now all of a sudden you're down to second and long. Okay, well now they're going to go play man-to-man, press you up, and they're going to send their dogs, Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, to go out there and get you. If you find yourself in a third and long situation, they can literally do whatever the heck they want to. You guys remember last year we broke down how Dan Quinn would put Micah Parsons over the center.
Yeah.
He would widen out, put guys in 5 techniques, 9 techniques. Now all of a sudden the center is ISO'd with who? Micah. They do the same exact thing with Myles Garrett. The same exact thing.
They bring it right up the middle.
Have you ever seen the highlight where Myles Garrett is literally dribbling the basketball between his legs?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that was that same look. Because he knew, he was like, oh, yeah, one-on-one with the center. Let's go.
Hezzy.
He hit with the hezzy, and then one side of the body, and yeah, exactly. It's not good. Okay, what's one of the other things they do? They will show cover zero. Okay, cover zero typically, and this might be an indicator for Dak, typically cover zero is off and inside. Okay, defenders, you'll see the defensive backs, they'll play off in coverage, and then they will sit in the inside shoulder because the one thing, if you're doing an all-out blitz, cover zero is an all-out blitz, okay, man-to-man, no additional players, you can't give up the inside. Right, if you're blitzing everybody up the middle and outside, the whole middle of the field is booty butt naked open. Okay, so you sit guys on the inside. They do it, but their guys are on the outside. So that's the one indicator I've been able to pick up. It's not a true zero, even though it's a zero look. All the guys walked up on the line of scrimmage. All the other guys who are responsible for your skills players are now playing off, but they're outside. From that cover zero look, now he could go cover zero and just go all out blitz. He also likes to go into a cover 2. Never seen it in my life. In my life. Cover 2. He also goes from that cover 0 look and goes cover 3. He'll also zone blitz out of it and drop a defensive end out.
Getting funky.
The one thing that Trey Lance got by this in the preseason, right, versus the Chargers. He got an interception thrown right to a defensive end. They do the same exact thing, except for they'll drop Myles Garrett out in coverage. So you're so worried about him rushing. You're so worried about all these guys walked up to the line of scrimmage. You're like, okay, cool. I got to find some way to get this ball off. And then all of a sudden they drop somebody out in coverage where you think that you're going to have a vacated space. So I say all that to say, if Dak can get the time versus man-to-man, I think he's in a good situation. They have 2 of the best corners in the league in terms of abilities to be able to stop man-to-man, though, or, to negate that. They were number 1 in the league versus winning man, number 1 in the league when playing man-to-man. Both of their corners had the highest percentile. Let me see here. They had a 67.4% defense rate on third downs, highest in the league since 2019. Their cornerbacks, let me find the stat if I can find it.
You got it. I believe in you.
I can't find it. Oh, yeah. The Browns defense has allowed the lowest completion percentage in single high coverage in 50.9. I can't find the stat right now, but their defensive backs have allowed the lowest completion rate when playing man-to-man. Both of their corners, their starting corners, finished in the top 5.
So kind of the unstoppable force meets the immovable object type situation.
Exactly, right? Dallas does a really good job versus man-to-man. Yeah. And then their defensive backs and Ward and Ward and Emerson, right? Martin Emerson, both of those guys do a great job versus guys in man-to-man coverage. So it's one heck of a matchup. At the end of the day, Dallas is going to have to block these guys up front, and then Dak is going to have the most cerebral game of his life.
You mentioned something in that breakdown, fantastic breakdown, by the way. It's almost like you're an Emmy-winning national analyst or something. You mentioned the unpredictability of Jim Schwartz. And 2 things might be working in Dak's favor going against Jim Schwartz. Number 1, he's seen Jim Schwartz's defense on several occasions via the Philadelphia Eagles.
Correct.
But also, now let's talk about Mike Zimmer, right? We talk about Mike Zimmer and how he feigns a lot of blitzes, drops back. He's very unpredictable with his defensive scheme and has been all throughout training camp. And guess who Dak Prescott has been going up against? He's been going up against Mike Zimmer. So to your point, Dak has struggled to this point in his career with pre-snap versus deception. But for the first year of his career, he's been practicing against an OG in defensive deception. Yeah. So that might definitely work in his favor.
Yeah, that's one of the things we mentioned as soon as we got to training camp, right? That this is huge. It might be more advantageous for Dak this year that he has Mike Zimmer to go against. Yeah. But Zimmer and Schwartz's defense look completely different.
You also need to get the running game going. You have, because to your point, you have
it's not an option.
You have to avoid third and long against this.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's talk about that on the other side of the break. I want to talk about the run game. I want to talk about where it's coming from. Is there a concern? And who's your starter? Because right now it looks like it's going to be a guy that you brought back in Ezekiel Elliott. We'll be right back with more Talking Cowboys right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time. But what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this segment of the show is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Josh Rodriguez, Patrick Nosey Walker, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Guys, I got a stat for you. It's kind of interesting.
I like stats.
I just put it out on our Big Facts article that'll go out later in the weeks going into a matchup. I called it Return of the Back. With
Return of the Back.
There you go. There you go. With his first snap on Sunday, Ezekiel Elliott will become the second running back in NFL history to surpass 10,000 yards from scrimmage before leaving for another team and ultimately returning to his original team. Okay? Second one to ever do that. He joins Amon Green, who spent 7 seasons with the Packers from 2000 to 2006 before returning to Green Bay in 2009. Who was the head coach of the team that brought him back?
Is that one Mr. Mike McCarthy?
That is one Mr. Mike McCarthy.
Michael McCarthy, let's go.
So I was interested in this. And I mean, of course, Amon Green, by that point in his career, I mean, we're talking about he started in 2000. He was age 32 in 2009. So it's a little bit older, and he was a little bit further down the line after spending a couple years in Houston than Zeke is after one season in New England. In that return season, and it was his final season of his career, Amon Green finished with 41 attempts for 160 yards and 1 touchdown. So my question to you is, a lot of the expectation around Zeke's return is that he will be the starting running back. He's listed as the starting running back on the unofficial depth chart. Is he good enough to be your starting running back? That's part of it.
You're a monster.
Well, first I have to attack it by saying there is no starting running back.
Okay.
Somebody has to start.
I've said it Right, somebody has to take the first snap.
Yeah, somebody's got to.
But I've been combating this in the Twitter sphere for a few weeks now, and I'm glad Mike McCarthy, speaking to the press yesterday, he cleared it up by basically saying, yeah, he approved the depth chart, but he reiterated that it's going to be on a week-to-week basis. They're going to look at the game plan and which back can give them the best chance to win on a week-to-week basis. So there will be times where, Ezekiel Elliott will out-touch Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. There will be times where Rico Dowdle will out-touch Zeke, Hunter, and whomever else touches the ball, CeeDee Lamb. But at the same time, I say let it all play out. So everybody's staring at the depth chart and then like, who's the starter? Who's the starter? The answer is yes, everybody's the starter. Who gets the first snap on a week-to-week basis? Okay, probably Zeke, right? Does that mean Zeke ends with more rushing yards and more rushing attempts that game than Rico or Deuce? No, it doesn't mean that. So snap out of the traditional train of thought where, you have to have one guy and then the other guys are the backups. That's not how it's working right now with the Cowboys. So, but to answer your question, Zeke is very capable. I'm working on the science lab. We are so back. First official science lab of the season. That'll drop.
Yes, science!
Yeah, science! Nice. But really quickly, Zeke, 34.2% success rate last year with the Patriots. Rico, 37.1% success rate. Deuce Vaughn, 17.4% success rate. When you look at those, there's a reason this is a committee. Okay, you're going to need every one of these running backs to get the job done for you. But it's also going to start with the offensive line.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think overall the carries are going to go, I think early and often they're going to lean in Zeke's favor. I think for the first half of the season at least. But something that Nick Eatman has brought up on Storyline before is that he says that quite possibly the running back with the most carries, the most yards at the end of the season is not even on the team right now.
Could be.
That's a possibility. And I've kind of hung on to that since the off season when he was doing 2-hour episodes. And I don't know, just a random shot at Nick Eatman.
Pew, pew.
I love the man. But there's that. I also think Deuce needs to be more involved. Yes. And even a friend of the show, John Machota, said, at the end of the season that Rico Dowdle is going to have more carries and more yards than anybody on the team. So it's up in the air for me right now. And I think for the coaching staff as well, they're kind of just open to seeing how it goes when you give all three players the ball, and even Hunter.
I was going to say, don't forget about Hunter, because last year he didn't get as many touches, but had the high. First of all, sorry, Jerry Madelon, for giving specific percentages. I should have rounded those up or down. He's going to get on me for that.
Did he text you already?
Not yet, but it's on the way. I'll round down for Hunter Lipke. Hunter Lipke had roughly an 83% success rate when he was taking a handoff. So smaller sample size, but he also was the only player in that backfield for the Cowboys who had a 0% stuff rate. He was never stuffed. So Hunter's going to get more chances.
I mean, he did drop
it.
He did drop
but there was that one Dolphins game.
on the goal line.
Yeah, but that was rookie mistake. He paid for his sins because he didn't get another touch for like 2 games after.
No, the whole season.
The rest of the season.
He did not get another touch after that.
He paid for his sins.
That is the last touch Hunter Lipke had to this point in time.
That's true.
And he's got to live with that.
The man paid for his sins. He did his time. Okay, free Hunter. Hashtag free Hunter. The man did his time.
I love it. I do. I know you guys love playing this game. I know it, so I'm going to bring it back. Confidence level 1 to 10. What's your confidence level right now in the run game for the Cowboys offense?
7.
Really?
Yep.
That's higher than I would put. I would put a 4.
I'm confident in the running game.
I'm not confident at all.
I am. Because most people are putting too much attention on the running backs. It has nothing to do with the running backs. The best running back is going to be the running back who doesn't fumble.
I agree with that.
I think Rico Dowdle finishes the year as a lead back, but it's just because he has the best combination of what they're trying to piece together. He has the best combination of power, he has the best combination of speed, and he can catch the ball. So he's the best.
He can hit a home run ball.
That's what I'm saying. He's the best of what they're trying to create in terms of a committee. So I think eventually he'll get his respect this year, but it's going to be a committee until that point. And whoever doesn't turn the ball over is going to be the best back for the Dallas Cowboys. This offensive line, the 3 interior linemen are going to be nasty. I repeat, was Cooper Beebe, somebody punches him in the mouth, and he gets angry. Okay, he's big body. He's Grimace to me. In my mind, he's Grimace. Right? He's just big wide body. then you got all pros on each side. You got a wave.
He did wear purple in college.
Yeah, there you go. He's Grimace, bro. So you got the flying V in the middle of your formation as a running game, and that's what you want. You don't want any gaps. I feel like the last few years, Tyler Biadasz to me lacked the size. He lacked the strength. I liked him. I liked his intensity. I liked his effort. I liked all those things. I just don't think that he had the size necessary to move grown men from the NFC East or the big boys in the AFC off the line of scrimmage. I think now you have that. Now it's just a matter of, okay, when does Cooper Beebe get that dog in him? Who's going to hit him in the mouth first? Is going to make him mad. It's going to make him angry, and he turns into a little credible Hulk. As soon as he gets a little bit of confidence, now you have a wave on the interior. Now you just pick a side. Hey, Terrence Steele, can you hold it down on the edge? All right, Tyler Guyton. We know Tyler Guyton got some nasty to him, but he has to get his legs underneath him as well. So once you have those three guys on the inside, you can run the ball.
I'm landing squarely on a 7 as well. I got 7. You have an upgraded offensive line, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton, but then don't forget about Zach Martin being there. Tyler Smith is an all-pro. Terrence Steele still looks better than he has in past couple of seasons. Obviously, last season was coming back from the torn ACL. He's moving exceptionally well. His confidence in that knee is there. He's ready to play ball. So the offensive line, which was one of the reasons that the Cowboys struggled in running last year, it's been wildly upgraded. So, ding, that's a win. I think that by bringing Ezekiel Elliott back, you've reinvigorated the short yardage game. Ding, that's a win. You have versatility. I love it, Beamer. You have versatility with Deuce Vaughn and Hunter Lipke. Ding, that's a win. You're entering this season with not only the number 1 offense, but this is a number 1 passing offense that is now in its second year of Mike McCarthy's playbook. They're comfortable. Brandon Cooks is going to get off to a hotter start. CeeDee Lamb is going to do what CeeDee Lamb does. Jake Ferguson is going to take a step forward towards a possible all-pro season. Because that passing attack is going to be that dangerous, ding indeed. Because that passing attack is going to be that much more dangerous, going to be harder for teams to add another guy to the box to stop the run, which helps you run the ball. All things being considered, I'm a 7 with this. I'm with Isaiah. I think this is going to be a more than solid rushing attack for the Cowboys.
I don't want to.
My man Beamer.
I don't want to downplay anything at all, but at least just personally, my confidence level is at a 4.
Nice. Okay, so you and I are on the same page.
I think not to Debbie down this whole thing. Shouts to Gaten Gates, but I think that
That's an inside joke.
Yeah, sorry. But I just don't see a lot of running backs on the team with enough juice, and I don't think they're going to let Deuce run the ball as often as I would like them to.
Okay.
I think Rico Dowdle is going to have the most yards at the end of the season. However, I think Zeke is going to have the more of the touchdowns this year. He's gonna get in the end zone quite a bit, hopefully. But yeah, just overall, I'm not excited to see the running game at this point. Again, I think the offensive line is going to carry that.
Because Grimace is up front, one of these running backs is going to become the Hamburglar.
Yeah,
and just
it's probably going to be Zeke.
Yeah.
I agree with the short yardage game. I think I don't worry about the short yardage game anymore with Zeke being back in the fold, because that's still a part and an element of his game. You've got Hunter Lipke that you can rely on in that element too, that does not get stuffed. I mean, it's just part of it. I don't see the home run hitting ability. I don't see, and honestly, going back to the draft show and a lot of the film that I watched from Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, they were both better pass blockers than they were run blockers. And I love both guys. I do, and I think they're going to be successful. But as rookies early on, I don't think I can push my chips into the center of the table and say these two guys are going to block up front for Cooper Beebe for Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott, and both of those guys are going to combine for 1,000 yards rushing this year. That's not happening. No. So I'm in a spot where yards per carry, I think, is going down. I think the ability to receive out of the backfield is not there as much as it was last year. Short yardage situation, if it's third and short, second and short, goal line, who cares? I think they'll be fine. This is a team that's going to throw the ball around a lot because they are really good at throwing it.
Anyway.
You're right.
I think,
but I just don't have any confidence right now. That can change. I mean, ask me 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. And I might say, okay, my 4 is now a 6. Okay, I've seen it a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't have it.
I also do love me some Cooper Beebe in the run blocking. I mean, he's better at pass blocking, but go back and look at his.
He's faced the weakest part of the entire defense for the Dallas Cowboys all offseason long. Of course, he looks good in run blocking. He's about to get
tested with Tomlinson.
He's going to be tested all the way through this first 5 weeks.
But like Isaiah says, his demeanor as well as his skill set. Once he gets punched in the mouth a couple of times, you're about to. Those who don't know what Cooper Beebe is like on the field,
I do.
Second level, pancake on level 1, pancake on level 2.
But also understand
he's a serial killer.
Understand this from the center position. Majority of your blocks in the running game, are they ISOs or are they combos?
Combos.
So when you're comboing, are you comboing with a regular player or all pro?
I agree. I'm right there with you.
No matter what direction he goes, he's combo blocking, which means two people blocking one man
with an
all pro. So his primary is going to be, hey, get over there, take either Martin or boom, get over there and take Tyler Smith. You got him? Cool. I'm going up to the linebackers.
How did that work out for Tyler Biotish?
Killer.
I am.
Hey,
give me
how did that work for Tyler Biotish last year? He was the most criticized player on the entire offensive line.
And I knew that was going to come up. That's why I said Tyler Biotish, in my opinion, did not have the size. Tyler Biotish did not have the size or the strength. Now Cooper Beebe, as wide as he is, going up to the next level, either linebackers have to run into the middle of his chest and get consumed like a black hole,
Galactus,
or they have to run around his large body and now try to get around him to get back downhill
because he's grimace.
I foresee this being nicer on the interior offensive line, and again, in terms of their running yardage, all I need is give me 4 yards.
Yeah.
Give me 4.2. I'll run 4 yards. If I get an average of 4.2 yards,
you're winning.
I'm winning. That's 3. If I run 3 times in a row, is that a first down?
3 times in a row.
Last time I checked. So give
first down plus
give me 4.2 yards average, and I am good. Yeah. I don't need. I mean, you're gonna have your explosives. Every team does, but I don't need the.
You don't need the home runs.
I don't need the home runs that come from the backfield.
Right.
I need consistency that makes you respect my running game, and now you change your defense to allow for the explosives on the outside.
Correct.
So I foresee the passes coming down, and I see the running game going up.
And I understand that. I understand because if you can do that, 3 yards in a cloud of dust worked for a long time in this league.
I need 4.
Exactly. You need 4 of it, and I don't know if they can get 4 with these guys.
We'll see.
37% success rate, stuff rate. I mean, that's not super exciting for me.
I will say that Rico Dowdle was averaging 4.1 yards per carry behind a carousel of offensive linemen due to injury. So look at what the offensive line looks like right now. Let the rookies get punched in the mouth a couple times, and then they'll acclimate.
Rico's going to eat this year.
And once they do that, then I don't agree with Kyle in that the yards per carry goes down. I don't see how that happens. And if that happens, then something's going wrong up front.
Yeah. Just by the way, just in comparison, Tyler Biotish and Cooper Beebe, according to their NFL Combine measurements, Biotish was taller, his arms were longer, his hands were bigger. The only thing that Cooper Beebe has over him is he was 8 pounds heavier.
That's cool.
That's the two. That's the comp between the two.
They used to always measure my size of my hands when I was playing football as a quarterback and try to say that I was going to hurt me in terms of my ability to grip the ball. Still threw it 80 yards.
You know what you can't. Hey, but
you know what I'm saying? Like
you know what you can't measure. You know what they don't have a ruler for? Demeanor. And Cooper Beebe's demeanor is wildly different from Tyler Biotish. Now, that's not to say Tyler Biotish was soft, because he wasn't. We've seen him get antsy in practices and start skirmishes and things like that. Beebe doesn't start skirmishes because between the snaps, he's more of that quiet. Right? He has the little smile. That's why I call him a serial killer. As soon as that ball is snapped, he's killing this guy and then looking for the next guy to kill and looking for the next guy to kill. It's different. So, the measurements, comparable, demeanor, incomparable.
I don't put them in the same field.
We got to get out of here. Before we leave, I want to say I hope you guys are right, because I want them to be able to run the ball.
Yeah, of course.
I just don't know if I see it. All right. Tomorrow, Say It With Your Chest Friday. Bring the heat, bring the pressure. We are bringing it on Talkin Cowboys.
Football tonight.
We have football tonight. You've got the first NFL matchup of the season. Isaiah's raring and ready to go. We've got a lot to look forward to here over the next 24 hours. By the way, your calls, we are going to do the fan calls again. Who's going to represent the fans next week and try and take home a title in our Pick'em segment on Say It With Your Chest Friday? For Patrick Nosey Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Isaiah Stanback, Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from Talkin Cowboys. We'll see you on a Say It With Your Chest Friday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!